What's up, Evil Dead fans? It's Ray Santiago. I play Pablo. This is episode 3.
Hi guys, it's me, Dana DiLorenzo, and I play Kelly.
Hello, boys and girls. I'm Bruce Campbell, and I play Ash. Episode 3, also directed by the wonderful Michael Bassett, has come back for one more episode.
MJB.
You know what I love most about Michael is that he's relatively soft-spoken and, has this lovely British accent, but whenever he yells action, he screams it in such a good director's way. It's like, action!
Totally.
But we're like 2 feet away from him. I loved that about him.
Yeah, you're right.
He's done a lot. He's got a lot of action in his background.
Yeah.
And so I think he's used to shouting over the Hong Kong streets with Taiwanese stunt guys flying left and right. He has a really interesting background. But you know what's nice about Michael more than anything? He loves the genre.
Mm-hmm.
And
for
he
sure.
seems like he's a fan. And, not all directors come in with that background. There's guys who used to be DPs who are great visually but could not talk to an actor to save their life. Some guys come up, they were writers, and they come up on a set, and they don't know what to say to anybody because they're used to sitting in dark rooms all the time. And they're giving you relationship advice, and this is coming from a writer. Other directors come up as actors, become directors, which works pretty good. Your Ron Howards of the world, people who can relate to actors. Michael Bassett, I think he just had a real enthusiasm for the genre, and boy, that helps a lot.
I agree. I mean, he's a great guy, and he was so cool with us. We met up with him in L.A., and he went with Dana and I and photographed us in front of our billboard.
When we got done shooting, yeah.
So cheesy, but it's one of those moments that we got to share with him because it's not every day that you're on a billboard,
And he loves it. I think he gets it. You could tell by the camera angles and by the direction he was given. He just gets it, and he, like I said before, he loves the Evil Dead franchise. So I think that's the magic sauce. Can we just say, by the way, I did not see this scene coming. I'd never seen it with Lucy, and that music with that entrance, I think, is one of the greatest openers of the show.
Epic entrance for her.
And this moment that's about to happen, I actually choked on my water when I was watching this because right here it's coming up.
So
I
it
laughed.
hurts. That
I think that had to be totally all Lucy too, just doing that on the spot. I laughed so hard. It's so wrong. It's so funny.
Well, we knew we had to get Lucy. As soon as I heard we're going to New Zealand, I'm like, Rob, at dinner tonight, look across the table and tell your wife that she's going to be in Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Tell your wife.
And that we got to figure something out. And so a lot of people were kind of wondering why Lucy was so randomly used in these early episodes. And the answer is she was fucking busy. She's a busy actress. She was working on Salem, and we kind of stole her away from them. And because I couldn't imagine doing the show, somehow not getting her involved to kick some demon ass, which she's a great presence. She's a great screen persona. Mm-hmm. And I think we need her. And so Ruby, I know when we were doing our press tour, we were joking, who is Ruby? Because no one knew who Ruby was. And the funny thing is, the woman who knew the least about Ruby was Lucy Lawless, because I think everyone was trying to figure out how to use her and how to incorporate her. She didn't able to come in until like episode 6 of physically being there on our set. So they shot a lot of sequences out of order and randomly, put her in. So it was, and then by the end of the season, we sort of caught up with her. So season 2 is really where Lucy and Ruby are going to shine. By the end of the season, I think you'll get a good sense of what her deal is. But it's been tough, and I know that she was frustrated of who the hell am I, writer guys? Good guy, bad guy, friend, foe. And what's great about Lucy, she can go either way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think she does that without, I mean, what a testament to her as an actor, because to not know the basic information of who your character is and still manage to own it on screen and make it all come together piece by piece, like putting together a puzzle, that's hard to do. And she does it. And I think she's a great counterpart to you, because Ash needed a strong female opposition. And I think she more, you guys hold your own together, and it's fun to watch.
It's just good to be back with her again.
I loved being in that Delta, by the way. It is very, very comfortable in the back. I don't know if anybody knows that, because I know people are very excited about the car coming back and being in the show.
All right, let's talk about this car.
Uh-oh.
Let's just have a little chat about this car. It's the actual car from high school. I've ridden in the back, Dana, where you sat. Very often while Mrs. Ramey was driving. Sam and I would be in the back. Mrs.
Ramey as in Sam's mom?
Sam's mother, yep. Lulu, we called her. She'd be in the front with Florence, her crazy friend. And we would pass a cop, and Florence would go, "Look at that cop. If he stopped me, I'd say shit. I'd say fuck you." And we had never heard like adults talk like this. And Sam's in the back going, "No, Florence, don't talk like that. Don't." He's mumbling. No one could hear it but me and Sam. So we've had many. Mrs. Ramey dropped us off in that car in front of Clockwork Orange.
Wow.
In Birmingham, Michigan. She's like, "Well, have fun at Clockwork Orange." She had no idea what she was dropping us off to see. And I don't know how we got in. We walked out of there both kind of ashen-faced. "How was the movie?" Good. I never want to hear Singing in the Rain ever again.
Right.
And the car, by the way, has been in all of Sam's movies. Every single movie, including Quick and the Dead, which is a Western.
What?
So where did he put it in Quick and the Dead? It's in Oz the Great and Powerful.
What?
In the Tinker's Workshop. He has parts of the car sprayed like different mufflers, and it's in the Tinker's Workshop. In Quick and the Dead, it's a wagon. He had the car stripped down and built a wagon on top of it.
So is it
it's in Darkman.
Is it like a good luck thing for him? Is it a superstition thing? What is it?
It's something amazing happened in that car.
To Sam Raimi.
So to the point where he went, something amazing happened to Sam Raimi. I'm guessing sexual favor. I don't know. I can't be convinced. But it has stuck with him so much that we had to put that on a boat and ship it to New Zealand.
Wow.
And then we had other doubles from that. So it's the car. It is the car. And here's how I know. When you open the door and the key is in the ignition, it goes...
That's exactly what it
it's
sounds like.
It's this really crappy, weak sound effect. But the funny thing is, even in 1977, when I'm riding in that thing, we'd open the door. And Sam and I went out there into the warehouse to look at it because it had just arrived. They're like, "Oh, yeah, Bruce, Sam, want to come see the classic?" So we're like, "Yeah, let's go see it." And I opened that door, and it made that sound. I'm like, "Damn, that's the car.
Oh.
That's the car." And one of them, the door doesn't shut right. They're all the various ones. There's always something wrong with each one of them, including Sam's original.
I was just going to say, Ray, do you remember when one of the times we were all in the car, none of us could get out of the door. They would have to open it from the outside.
They'd have to open it from the outside.
And it wouldn't unlock from the inside.
That's one way to keep your actors on set.
Right. Like, I need to go to the bathroom. Oh, yeah, just climb over.
Oh, yeah, mate, get out over this side.
Go out the trunk.
Yeah, it's all right.
Go out the boot.
She'll be all right, mate. But I got to say, I got to do the Shatner power slide in that car.
That was you, that's right.
And I hope you guys, it's because William Shatner, I finally met him doing these conventions, and you don't come up to William Shatner and say, "Hey, dude, loving Star Trek." That's not going to work. That's not going to get Bill Shatner in your camp. And I went, "I'm going T.J. Hooker." Because I watched that show for cheeseball reasons, which I won't tell Bill. But it's amusing for many reasons, T.J. Hooker. One of which, he would do the hot power slide up to crime scenes, and the camera would keep rolling without a cut, and Bill Shatner would get out, hence proving that Shatner did the power slide. So I asked him about it, and his eyes lit up, and he goes, "The producers, they didn't want me to do that." I was like, really, Bill? Really? No, yeah, too dangerous, too dangerous. I said, but I would. I would slide up hot to these crime scenes. I would do that. So what you do is you're driving, you're accelerating. It's a 4-part move. Foot off the accelerator, grab the emergency brake, then you steer because shockingly, even with the emergency brake, you can steer. And then when you finally want to stop, that's the only time you hit the actual brake.
The emergency brake or the brake?
No, brake. The emergency brake is second. Gas off, emergency brake, steer, brake. And it worked like a champ. And in the pilot, we held, Ash gets out. We see that it was him. So I have not met him since we shot that. So I'm waiting to see Bill Shatner at another one of these cheeseball conventions so I can tell him that I know what he means about the Shatner power slide.
That's
We are brothers. We are brothers in power slide.
By the way, that was a stellar William Shatner impression.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's exactly what I thought. Please continue.
You see, in ancient times there was a group known as the Dark Ones. Neither demon nor...
Now, speaking of fine actors, this gentleman is Kelson Henderson. He's a Kiwi.
Playing Lionel,
right, guys?
yes. He is, and I thought we both...
Now, tell us about him. All actors have another life.
Yes. He owns, I believe, is it one or multiple fabulous restaurants in
With
New
his
Zealand with his family called Tony's, which is like an old school supper club sort of looking restaurant steakhouse with the red booths and the three of us and Jill we frequented there a bit, didn't we? After he,
I believe we caused a little bit of
we
trouble
did. He
there
did
at
give
this
us
place.
a $5 coupon. So we all like, let's
That's
use
sweet
it.
of him. Nice.
Yeah. And we had a great time, but and the steaks were great. But he does such a flawless American accent. I mean, and so many of our guest actors are great. From people I've talked to, people can't believe that they're Kiwis. But
But don't forget, guys, if you had that part, think of the amount of dialogue bullshit you'd be spewing.
Well,
Every day I'd look at him and go, oh, you poor bastard. You poor bastard. Because, he would give a speech and then Ash would go, yeah, but what about this? What about that? And he'd give another speech and Ray would say something, well, what about that? Then he'd give another speech. So I'm like, wow, dude, you're earning your money. And then, of course, this is one of the few shows where an actor can get cast, play the role, get killed, come back again as a deadite, and get killed again.
yeah.
So the only show where you can get killed twice. So you can put that on your reel. 2 deaths.
You can put that on your reel.
But he was good, a very unassuming actor, very competent actor. And it's just nice to be with those guys because, look, actors come in out of nowhere. They're very nervous a lot of times. They don't know anybody. But the funny thing is when the Kiwi actors come in, oh, yeah, Frank. Oh, yeah, Tid. Hi, Pete. How are you, Joe? They all know each other. In the Herconzina days, we would go to see a play. We went to see 10 Little Indians at the local playhouse in Auckland, and I called it 10 Little Warlords because we'd go, oh, that's the guy, that's the farmer from episode 26. Oh, there's the crazy warlord. Oh, I remember him. That guy was hilarious. We knew everybody in the cast who had been in Herconzina because the talent pool in Auckland it's getting much bigger and better. It was always decent. We had to develop a rule. Every actor who was in a Hercules episode, he couldn't be in another one for like 4 or 5 episodes.
And
when they came back, they had to shave. Yeah, well, we needed them desperately, and so they'd have to shave their head or grow a mustache, look completely different, wear a blonde wig, because they'd have to recycle these guys over and over again because we couldn't afford to bring in, a guy to play 2 lines of dialogue.
Oh, that makes sense.
From the States, you'd cast locally. And what we started to do is if an actor came in from New Zealand who was self-conscious about the English accent, like a guy who only had 3 lines, we would tell him, just say it like a Kiwi, and we're going to loop it back in the States.
Looping.
Because sometimes they would be so concerned about sounding like an American, it'll sound all weird. There was a guy who did it. He was a guard one time, and he came out, he goes, stop right there, Hercules. I'm like, close, but you got to say the R. Oh, I was saying Hercules. Yeah, you're saying Hercules, but not Hercules. And then Xena, they would say Zener. They would add the R. Hercules, they won't say the R, but Xena, they add the R. So I'm like, what the hell is with you people? Is this English? But I felt that we have a good base of thespians coming from Auckland.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of them were actually trained back on cheesy TV shows.
Though they're excellent, and they really bring the world together. And just looking at the screen now, I want to give a shout out to the art department and set design.
Brooke.
Because that bookstore, there is so much that isn't even on camera. And Bruce, I know you said this before. The attention to detail that
Ridiculous.
our
Ridiculous.
crew does, like what people don't even see is all of the papers of the books have the old writing on it, and the books that they chose have the titles mean something, and like in those all of those like dead animals.
What about the crap in the jars?
Yeah, like that.
That's the
all
most
of that.
heinous shit I've ever seen in those
Honest
jars.
to God. And
These
you
feet,
open
eyes,
a drawer,
brains, noses.
a little mini dinosaur fetus or something.
Well, here's what I like
in
in
a drawer
this
and
show.
you see stuff.
Oh yeah, and it's real. Like there's chicken legs and things like that. There's
Yeah.
a weird pterodactyl baby, horse fetus. But when we have a bookstore in Ash vs. Evil Dead, it's not a bookstore. It's not Barnes and Noble. It's frickin' Harry Potter.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And same with the upcoming sequences we'll see in diners and things like that. If we have a diner, it's not a diner. It's all diners it's like everything's on steroids. It becomes like a log cabin diner,
Right.
ultra Americana. And what's fun is the Kiwis trying to play Americana a lot of times go over the top. Like at the farmhouse.
Oh, I was just gonna say. I know what you're gonna say.
They put flags everywhere. 'Cause
American
they go, oh, yeah,
flags.
you Americans. Oh, yeah, you love your
So
flags.
proud.
Let's have flags. Yeah, so there was a flag on the porch. Yeah, flag on the porch. They had flags in little dishes and potpourris, and they go, oh, yeah, you Americans, it's all about the flag. So
I remember when we
they
walked
tended to
through
go
it
a
with
little
Sam.
overkill.
With you, yeah, and with you and Sam, and it was you, I think, who just picks up the vase of little miniature American flags, like you would pass out at 4th of July, and you're like, that's a little much, don't you think?
Well, I guess we got the flags covered.
Yeah.
I guess we're good
But-
there.
But this bookstore, I mean, everything, like even that bulletin board back in that room where Jill and I were, I mean, everything has something on it.
And then when you go to shoot the show, it's one thing to build a set. But now that you got this whole sequence, if you watch it, watch it with the sound off sometimes. It's kind of fun to see. There is nothing normal in that sequence. It's either lights are flashing, wind is blowing, papers are blowing. A lot happened in that room. So people always wonder, I think people should have more respect for Carnage and Mayhem movies. Because they're a lot more of a pain in the ass to shoot than two guys sitting down talking.
Hear, hear.
Like, when have we ever, in this whole season, shot anything? I guess maybe there's a diner sequence coming up where the three of us have a pretty long talk, but that's it. That's it. We
that
don't.
in the beginning of this episode when we're in the car, that's it. Those are
Yeah,
like
but that's it. How long is that? 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Yeah.
There's nothing happens.
But
and
I
for
actually
the rest
like
of
those.
the episode,
I like those.
well, that's the nice thing is, among the Carnage and Mayhem, I think when you stop and actually talk for 2 minutes, you'll actually listen now because, now you got dialogue and there's nothing flashing and no
Right.
Elagos demon or something like that. It's funny, conceptually, I like in this one that they go, well, let's just summon a pussy demon.
Yeah.
Just a crappy little demon. And of course, typical Ash fashion, it is so not that. It's of course
Right.
a very heinous demon that I think comes across pretty good.
I mean, what the world doesn't know is that Ilagos was a man in a thong
With body paint.
with body paint on him. I mean, it looks amazing what our crew and special effects and makeup people have done. It's amazing.
And do you remember how cold it was in there? Like we
freezing.
were putting on puffer jackets in between, and there's
and
this
he's
guy
covered
naked.
again with the slimy KY crap
Exactly, and he's
to make it look like he's a slimy badass. And in order to do that, he has to be cold and shivering the
Yeah.
entire time.
Well, do
So
you remember he couldn't
Elagos
sit
appears.
down? He couldn't sit down at all because he had
Or
paint
eat.
on his back, or eat because he had that mask, that whole thing covering his face. He
Yeah,
had
this
paint on his
guy
ass.
was
Poor
he was sucking through a straw.
Ben
Ben.
Francham.
And of course, to this guy, this is what amazes me about, and these guys inspire me because it's easy, in my opinion, as an actor. You can get a little jaded over time. Not that I am, but this guy gets on set, and he never had a bad minute on set. To him, I get to play a creature. I'm gonna come in, and they're gonna make me look badass, and he was quite the physical specimen, that's for sure.
Yes,
And
he was.
This guy loved it. I'd see him near the end of the day. Hey, how you doing? Just fine. Everything's so good. Yeah, good to go. And the guy can't. He's behind his nose. So I give a lot of credit to anybody who plays a creature. It is a tough duty. And going into the New Zealand winter, it's not like we have snow drifts, but it's like London. It's cold, blustery, rainy.
It's like a bone cold. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're in these big warehouses. They're not sound stages, because you can hear every sound imaginable. That's why they call them sound stages. These, I don't know what they manufactured there before in this giant facility, but, it's like a sheet metal.
Right.
When the wind blows, you're hearing, you can't stop it. And then when the rain starts, it's white noise.
Right.
You essentially can't. You have to keep filming, knowing that you're going to replace the dialogue later because it hits that metal on the roof, and that's all you hear.
I think you should do all the sound effects for season 2 next season.
No.
No.
Hey, if you're talking about sound, these movies, we've always cared a lot about sound. And so we've always tried to have fun coming up with creature voices. And, our gunshots, we like, with Army of Darkness, we used a black powder cannon was his gunshot.
Wow.
It wasn't a regular gunshot sound effect. So everything's always amped up. The chainsaw will have a little growl under it. The shotgun will have usually 2 or 3 sounds with it. And sequences like this just kill me too. Again, here's a guy throwing digital glass. You don't just go out and shoot this stuff. You have to figure out where's the glass going to be, what is it lit like, where's the glass going to go, because you don't see it when you're filming.
Right.
And now we're going to throw it across the room. So everything really has to be planned out. You can't show up on a day like that without really planning how this is going to work. I like how you see Ash's brain occasionally when he gets scanned. You see his little empty walnut.
But I loved how they did that effect with the skeleton and even the effect they did on top of Elagos, making him shake like that. Like, this is so cool.
He was
Look
like
at that.
shape-shifting.
Yeah.
I just felt like an idiot because, they were like, okay, now he's trying to take over your power or, consume you. And I just remember shaking. A lot of times I just...
Right. Well, sequences like this, there's no question about it. You feel like a jerk when you're shooting it.
Yeah.
But you just have to, in the big picture, that editorially they will help you. They're not going to show you, shivering for like an hour. And thankfully for that. But you just got to commit. It's one of those things where you go, okay, he's sucking the life out of me. What would that be like? I guess it would be very painful and difficult,
Right.
So
Right.
it's the beauty. And again, with a show like this, we're going to be doing every variation of that you can think of. So rather than, and again, going back to a normal show, they might have a guy punch a guy in a parking lot. That's the big action sequence of the show. And I hope
Punch
that,
a guy in the parking lot.
well, I hope that this show gets some recognition for the other departments as well.
For sure.
Absolutely.
We have Barbara Dara did the costumes for it.
Oh,
and
Barbara.
What they don't realize is
Bobby.
how much work they have to do. I think with Ash shirts, I think they made 50 shirts because you have to have full sleeve, short sleeve, a no sleeve gets ripped off. We shot in a basement sequence where they actually made the shirt a brighter blue because of how little light there was. So you know, again, this is a department they're not buying stuff off the rack. Everything was certainly made for Ash because he had to match a look from the series, so they had that challenge.
Right.
How did your wardrobe?
I was just gonna say I can't say enough about Barbara and that team because like that leather jacket that I'm wearing in this episode, hand dyed, handmade piece by piece
By good old Matt.
Yes, Matt made it, and it's phenomenal. And every like you said, Bruce, every article of clothing. And why I love Barbara so much is she absolutely helped create who Kelly was because she and I were totally in sync. And she's like, she marches to the beat of her own rock and roll drum. She cuts her own T-shirts and repurposes things. And one of the coolest things is that she made these rings that spell out a word every episode that pertain to Kelly.
Wow.
So I've been having a lot of fun with fans, like on Twitter, saying, "Can you guess Kelly's rings?"
Wow.
And she's like, she's the kind of chick who makes her own jewelry. So yeah, I believe in. What was this episode? In this episode, it might have been Hope, I believe. Hope, because she has hope. But yeah, that's just a testament to them.
I think she did a great job because she sort of, Ash, your wardrobe is sort of this iconic, outfit that's your superhero outfit. And I think in a lot of the episodes, you can sort of see that she tried to do that with the three of us to sort of make it like this sort of team. You have your your purple jacket, and I have my graphic tees
And your green.
I told her hey, my green varsity
Yeah,
jacket.
Pablo always wears something green, if you notice, and
Green,
Kelly always wears something
yellow.
purple.
Yeah, she took into consideration what we liked, and she made us feel comfortable and good. And like you said, the team worked really hard. I mean, your leather jacket was dyed.
and there's a couple. There's one with fur and I mean,
Ash has one too.
Yeah.
No, but it's the same thing. They had to come up with a leather jacket that was a custom leather jacket. They don't just buy it off a rack.
Oh yeah.
So that's the testament to this show, ladies and gentlemen. How much we care about you, the audience.
That's true.
The whole crew, the Kiwi crew, was such a big part of the experience for me, and they were not just hard workers, but they became my friends, and in a lot of ways like my work family. And I'm so stoked to go back and see a lot of their faces again.
Yes, we love and miss
And
you,
you will.
NZ crew. I know.
Season 2.
Yeah.
And until the next episode,
Good night and good luck.
goodbye and thank you.